Yeah, mahalo, mahalo nui, Chair. Privilege and honor is truly mine, and it's been an incredible thing to serve with you and other commissioners. You know, thank you for the second term. Well, everyone, you know, I think, yeah, it's just an incredible privilege. So if I can just share a little bit of manaʻo, and, you know, in the hopes that maybe one day my kids and grandkids might actually go and look at the notes and try to figure out why I missed all those things and flew all around. Sat in Zoom meetings while my daughter was in preschool. So I just want to start just by thanking my ohana. You know, my dad came to my first you know, opening at the ledge where I didn't know if I was going to get appointed, and my kids, you know, haliloha, kuloku, kaulapulani for all their just support and patience, manaʻo, and yeah, I guess just have some thoughts here, if you'll indulge me a little bit of 8 years. And I hope there'll be more. You know, I'm definitely gonna move away from this role, but be involved in water for the rest of my life anyway. So just some thoughts. You know, since the establishment of the commission in roughly 30 years of work from the 1980s until 2012, the commission set numeric in-stream flow standards for total of 16 times in a total of 10 streams. And between the years of 2013 and today's meeting in June 2021, our commission has set updated numeric flow standards, actually 49 times, because we did another one today, for a total of 45 streams all across our islands. Yeah, it's fantastic. These streams, just so we can remember, are Waikapu, Wailuku, Waiakoali, Kawaikoi, Kawakinana, Koke'e, Waihulu, Koa'e, Waimea, Ainako, Ukumehame, Oluwalu, Launui Poko, Kauaula, Honopo, Hanehoi, Waiakamoi, Wakinepe'e, Huahokamoa, Haipua Ena, Punalau, Honamanu, Nu'ailolo, Pina'au, Palauhulu, Waiakamilo, Wailonui, East Wailuaiki, West Wailuaiki, Kopiliula, Puaka'a, Waiohue, Waia'aka, Pa'akea, Kapa'ula, Hanavi, Makapipi, Kahoma, Kanaha, Waia'ama, Lawai, Honokohau, Kaluanui, Honolua, Waioli, and Ka'iei'e too. So this effort is something for us to celebrate, and I want to mahalo all the communities that in some instances petition our commission, our staff, especially Dr. Aaron Strauss, all the deputies that I got a chance to work with and learn, Bill Tan, Jeff Pearson, Kaleo, Chair Case, Chair Ayla, and lastly, you know, our commission members. Wow, Mike, Neil, Wayne, Paul, we did some stuff. And I also want to mahalo, you know, Jonathan Starr, some of the commissioners who aren't with us anymore, Milton Paval, Bill Balfour. It's a significant achievement to have achieved in 8 years, nearly quadrupled the amount of all previous commissions over the last 30 years in establishing scientifically based IIFSs. And I do believe we have restored these streams while also balancing reasonable and beneficial uses for agriculture and economics. However, there are significant matters that require our continued attention in this area. We must continue to rebalance all across our islands, enforce IIFSs that we've implemented, and thoughtfully listen to the voices and concerns of our community. Our fiduciary duty as Kahuai is to implement the public trust to protect and manage the waters of Hawaii for present and future generations. In implementing and upholding the public trust, we must also continue to earn the trust of our communities. I know this work is hard and adverse. There have been times, and we've all seen it. Some of us get challenged, held responsible for the actions or inactions of previous commissions, the needs of plantation companies whose infrastructure has emptied community streams for generations. We've even faced paradoxical situations of the illegal overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom, the occupation, and the lingering issues of justice and sovereignty over resources and our water. This work comes with kuleana, and we must shoulder these burdens. And while these are significant, I think they pale in comparison to the intergenerational trauma carried by many indigenous communities who have witnessed their traditional and customary practices diminish because of the lifeline of their community. The stream has been empty for generations. And I think we have to remember these communities responded by carrying that trauma and facing the injustice head on in the courts, through the processes mandated by this commission, sometimes fighting for over 20 years. To me, that is a tremendous kuleana and difficult and adverse work to continue. So when we meet community in open hearing, we can keep in mind that we're perhaps one of the many faces they've encountered on their path to return water and life to their community. Whether we like it or not, we carry the burden of balancing reasonable and beneficial uses of life and the legacies of historical injustice. And I think one of the most moving and inspiring developments I've witnessed has been the resurgence of these communities of aloha aina all across our islands, as we have seen the next generation of leadership emerge all across the Pai'aina to better malama our way, in Waioli, in West Maui, in East Maui, Nawaiʻeha, West Kauai, Wailua, Waimea, Keaupo, and He'ia. Makalohe ia ka leo makuahine, mai nā pua o Hawaii, makia a ha'olelo. O ka ha'aheo wale ke ia, o ka ma'amau no na hananau, o ka ma'amau ke ia no na hanau na ho, e puka ka olelo. And I think one thing I've learned in these 8 years is we have an incredible opportunity to play a role in restorative justice. I believe there are fewer greater callings than to have the chance to restore life to a community, the people, the plants, the o'opu, the hihiwai, the opai, and the aquifer itself are all resurrected when we restore a stream. So we did 45 in the last 8 years. I hope this commission can complete the roughly 400 streams over the next 15 years. I think we have the processes and experience in place to restore every stream in our islands. We also have done significant work in areas of groundwater and moved the commission towards a more integrated one water approach over the last 8 years. I hope the commission continues on this path so that our approaches toward integrated management can continue to be actualized across our islands. I believe this is of critical importance for mitigating climate crisis and the proactive management of aquifers and streams. In reality, like the Mele of Kane tells us, the engineered silos of groundwater, surface water, stormwater are really just one water. And we don't actually manage the resource as much as we manage humans' use and consumption and their respect for this resource. So I hope the commission will continue to work towards understanding and protecting groundwater-dependent ecosystems, as these are critical importance for mitigating climate crisis and the preservation of traditional and customary Maui practices, as well as overall nearshore marine health. And I think the most difficult personal issue, at least for me, to leave unresolved is the Red Hill tanks and the leaking underground fuel tanks. This has been the most serious threat, I think, to our drinking water and one of the most important aquifers on Oahu. We've had hearings, requested updates, but I continue to be deeply concerned about the existential threat the Navy's inaction poses to the drinking water of Oahu and the public trust resources of this commission. So I know that we're going to follow up and take action in this area because it's that important to us, and we try. We work on this. So I just want to end with a story. My very first day, as a commissioner, was a completely different composition. I walked in that room and Bill Balfour was sitting right where Wayne was. And, Bill he was a strong guy, burly guy, and he gets up and he goes, "Hey, son, how old are you?" I said, 35. And he goes, "Oh, man, I'm old enough to be your father. In fact, I'm old enough to be your grandfather." And I was just dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. Did that 3 meetings in a row. And finally, by the 3rd meeting, I figured out, I needed to say something. So I just kind of recited my genealogy. No, this is my dad, this is my grandparents, this is my great-grandfather. You're not any of them, but thank you. So for the first few years, Bill and I think we disagreed on a lot of issues. But I also tried to maintain aloha for Bill and tried to empathize and understand his position on issues. As time passed, I think we developed a respect for each other's positions, and I learned a whole bunch about his knowledge of place and resources from being on the ground and managing ditches. I think I also taught Bill a little bit about traditional customary rights, the manaʻo. And we all saw, near the end of Bill's service on this commission, many took note of his open support of public trust responsibilities, as well as the serious issues of waste allegation that we were working through at that time. And I think Bill's metamorphosis was instrumental in some of those decisions that we made. And so I'm sharing this story with everyone today because I believe that we have that chance to work towards restorative justice while balancing reasonable and beneficial uses, no matter what our previous professional backgrounds are, our political affiliations, our race, gender. We can learn new ways and learn from each other if we keep our aloha and we put our fiduciary duty to wife first. And that's our kuleana. So I want to mahalo Bill and mahalo each of you. And Eliki me kaulelo ko kākou wahi kupuna, e wai a ola, e wai a mana, e ola no ea, hiki ke au haʻaina hoʻopiloa. Thank you for the opportunity and honor.